to Stories by the Fire. I'm Wildfire, and today we'll be reading A Funny Way of Staying Friends. Before we settle in with our story, remember to like and subscribe for my algorithm, for your algorithm, and to keep me encouraged. That being said, grab your comfort beverage if you can. Mine is water today, and enjoy the story. A Funny Way of Staying Friends is a My Hero Academia fic by The Moon is Dead, and is part of a series called To Be Your Lonely Neighbor. This is a multi-ship fic and is rated for general audiences. Standard operating procedure for this channel means I will be censoring language to a certain extent. Dobby requires it. And I have the author's blessing, of course. Neither I nor the author own My Hero Academia or its characters. Summary. Fuyumi knocks on Keigo's door and it slides open by itself. She wants to invite him over for a late lunch. Well, a late lunch made by and shared with Touya while Fuyumi ditches the boys for her girlfriend. Keigo has important insights into the sort of gifts Rumi would like for the surprise Fuyumi is planning. And while Touya likely doesn't want to hear this conversation, both boys can be bribed with the presence of the other. That's Fuyumi's plan. But seeing former and current-ish members of the League of Villains inside Keigo's unit isn't exactly what she expected. All of them are yelling in a cacophonous wash of sounds Fuyumi only understands because of her experience working with children. Keigo visibly stews, taking in their excuses. Listening long enough to know that ex-villains are blaming Touya for the situation they found themselves in, bound by red feathers and cuffed with quirk suppressants, while an eclectic array of objects lay spread around before them, Fuyumi clears her throat. Hey, is this a bad time? Or Keigo meets the rest of his in-laws. Touya, apparently, doesn't know any normal people. Normal being relative here to mean people who respect the fact that his door hinges are not indestructible. He doesn't even muster the energy to flinch as his front door slams open, just shifts his grip on his boning knife and spares a moment to mourn the added prep time. I cannot believe you let Tomura-chan come here before you invited me! It's Himiko. Because, of course it is. Touya starts readjusting his expectations for the day. He'll have to freeze about half of the chicken thighs he's got on sale this morning, and save the deboning work for later. Dobbsies! She whines. I thought you were better than that! Well, at least she comes with a handler these days. Touya nods at Aizawa, telling the teen, You get to hang out with Eraserhead when you make these little field trips crazy. Dusty's more jealous, I promise. Her grin turns sadistic around the edges. Not today, though. You're stuck with me, Oni-chan. He freezes. Huh? Eraser? I'm leaving her here with you. The traitor confirms calmly. No, rewind. What do you mean? Fuyumi is at work, and she's only coming home to grab some clothes before spending the weekend at her girlfriend's. Why she moved in with him at all, if she's just going to spend all her time with Rumi, is beyond Touya. But whatever. It means Touya will be Himiko's only source of entertainment. That means his work today won't just be slowed, it will end. The few pieces of chicken he has now will have to be enough. So Keigo either can't have any at all, or he's the only one getting fed tonight. You're supposed to be her off-site supervisor. Unbothered, the teacher rolls his eyes. This is hardly the first time I've broken the law, Dobby. I'll be back tomorrow afternoon to get her into the facilities by 3. Oh, so this is an overnight trip that no one wanted to tell me about beforehand. Himiko can't sit still and wait to be fed, nor can she help in the kitchen without 1,001 accidents. Blast. He wouldn't have gone grocery shopping if he knew he was going to have to blow this week's budget ordering in for this little brat. That's great. She laughs. Surprise! Well, it's as good a time as any to start properly introducing Keigo to this side of the family. As amusing as it is to watch him floundering whenever villains are brought up, Touya and Himiko will be leeching off the hero's riches this weekend. Touya accepts that he'll have to concede some truths in return, but at least he has several hours before Keigo gets home from work. Time he'll happily spend plotting to make this process as painful as possible for the hero. He grins. Actually, this isn't so bad after all. Aizawa squints, but then he visibly moves on. Don't commit any crimes easily attributed to either of you while I'm gone. I have errands to run and then evening commitments. Don't call me unless someone is dead, and even then, reconsider. Hi, Sensei-san! Himiko sings. Hi, Sensei-san! Himiko sings in a drawn-out, cutesy tone specifically designed to make Toya's eye twitch. Aizawa leaves through the window, waving over his shoulder as he disappears. She whirls on Touya, menacingly patting her small purse. So, vermilion or black or both? He gestures at his messy kitchen. You're not painting my nails right now. I also have face masks. I don't have enough face to mask. Then vermilion nails it is. I knew you'd like this one. She lets him clean up what he's doing first, which is kind of her. Himiko passes the time talking his ear off about the dramatic interpersonal relationships of her cellmates. You're not in a cell, he eventually cuts in, done cleaning the kitchen. So you don't have cellmates. Well, what else should I call them? They're inpatients like me, which is just a fancy way to say inmates, which is already a synonym for cellmates. Like I said. She pulls him by the wrist towards the couch so she can paint his nails comfortably. You know, I've actually had more school than you at this point, Mr. Know-It-All. Bow down. Don't start with me, Himi. You know that is not... The door slams open and a veritable barrage of more uninvited guests walk in. Because Toya's life is a joke. Himiko releases a peal of laughter and Touya stares blankly at each new face crowding into his doorway, all on top of each other as they take off their shoes in the Genkin. Blandly, Touya observes, Okay, this is fine. Himiko, I should have known you'd be here too. The teen jumps up, forcing Touya to scramble to catch her nail polish before it stains anything, and greets each person with a shout of their name, followed by a big hug. Big sis! Spinner! Shiggy! Compress! Oh, it's like a reunion! Aw, poor Twicey. We have to record this for him. Jin can't come, because he still has a few months until his release from the psychiatric care facility he's in, and he doesn't get field trips. Everyone, under Himiko's avid direction, has been recording clips for him since his admission. As per an embarrassingly easy-to-exploit major design feature of this program, Jin has an anonymous pen pal that handles the exchanges. He's not supposed to interact with villains, obviously, so via a fake civilian entity owned and operated by Girin, the League smuggles videos and letters compressed into marbles to correspond with Jin. They're expecting his latest response in a couple days, so the timing of this is actually perfect. Accordingly, there's a cheer of agreement and a scramble for recording devices, which means several incorrect marbles are unmarbled in Touya's entryway, courtesy of impatient grabby hands and a magician who never sacrifices showmanship. Touya addresses their fearless leader first. Shigs, why are you guys here? They didn't believe me that I'd been here before. I'm the boss, so of course I had to prove them wrong. Touya relaxes, glad that no catastrophe forced them here. Plus, we don't get to hang out together anymore. The real League, without the extras, I mean. The others coo over him, predictably making the awkward young man bristle and blush. Touya laughs, but he gets it. Yeah, all right. You don't need me to tell you to make yourselves at home. The warm, fuzzy feeling of being together again lasts, of course, until the League does as it always does and drives him absolutely insane. The process takes a grand total of 93 minutes. A new record, so there's that. Kurigiri-san, please take them back. Away from me. Now. Please. Maybe, if he's polite enough, he'll get his way. Kurigiri's background is loud, and he doesn't move to a quieter place, so Touya's ploy is useless. Sorry, but I'm off duty, getting drinks with friends. Try again tomorrow afternoon, Touya. You can't even get drunk, he snarls into the receiver. Himiko laughs at his plight from her spot on the couch, smushed between him and Magne on the smaller sofa because Tenko is sprawled out across the three-seater playing handhelds with Spinner, with the volume all the way up, of course. You would be amazed at how low Hizashi's tolerance still is, and Shota and I need time to reconnect after my reanimation, which, if you recall, is exactly what you encouraged me to do when I was ready. He can't deny that, but Touya grumbles anyway, tries to at least. He has to bat away the sequins Magne thought she and Himiko could apply to his nails, hissing, "Don't you dare." Choking on her laugh as she scolds him, Magne gasps. "Look what you did, Touya-kun." "Not it!" Himiko screeches, immediately echoed by her co-conspirator. "We're not cleaning those up." Birdie will instinctively pick up those shiny sequins the next time he comes over. That's a foregone conclusion in Toya's mind. He focuses back on his call. You and Eraser are just gonna talk crap about your kids. Don't lie. And I never offered to babysit these psychos, especially not overnight in my own apartment. Mildly, Kurigiri returns, I'm sure you'll figure it out, Touya. He can't be upset about being hung up on, because he then catches a series of words that have no business being said in his apartment. Astonished that he even has to say so, Touya barks. No, Spinner! You cannot stream here! Are you insane? He whines. You know I can encrypt the location. He doesn't budge. Absolutely not. And Nichan, get off the camera. I'm not a villain anymore. I can hang around. I'll boost viewership too, she brags. Yeah, she will. And everybody loves Shig's game commentary. Shig's is hyper-focused and therefore dead to the world. Don't drag him into... I thought you supported our businesses, Dobby. Touya takes a fortifying breath. Magne, you're on probation. You cannot be seen with known criminals, especially not anybody from the League of Villains. You're a terrible host, Dobby-kun. You guys are the surprise guests. You should have brought your own entertainment, he snaps. I'm sure Compress has something in his... Movement in the corner of his eye has him jerking his attention immediately away once more. Sako, put it back. I would have returned it all. He laughs, loud and boisterous. Touya should have known he was up to something when the man was so quiet all this time. A truly ungodly amount of Toya's things find their way back to their rightful places, freed from marbles. Eventually. I know. Touya sighs. Usually, Mompress has better manners than this. Usually, Mompress acts like a mom, not a child let loose in a candy store. But usually, all his kids are gathered in unsafe, unstable environments, hiding and or hurting. That's not the case here in Touya's apartment. He knows the magician is reckless when he can relax, and Magne is impulsive when she's having fun, and Spinner is excitable when he feels safe. And all that happens so rarely that it can't be held against them, even if this is giving Touya an ulcer. So he gets it, but he also thinks that maybe Fuyumi was right to pour out all the alcohol she could find. Touya regrets how she's eased up since then. Please stop drinking, all of you. You just told them to make their own entertainment, Himiko baits. What do you want from them? To follow Boss's excellent example of sitting down and shutting the heck up. Touya absolutely does not say. Tenko would preen for days about it, for one thing, and for another, he doesn't want to encourage the unsettling hyper-focus the kid has on his games. Toya's a bit worried about it, truthfully. But he's also at his limits. If you want entertainment, I have a mission for you. Successfully steal something from my neighbor, and I'll give you any favor you want from me, no limits. Wait, really? I haven't gotten to steal anything fun in so long. Shigs! Dobby is setting up a league heist! Steal at least one thing from my neighbor without him knowing, Touya spells out, making it up as he goes. Show me and keep the possession for 15 minutes. You can sabotage each other, but try not to break his stuff. Bonus points if you can return the items without him realizing they were gone. That should buy him, 10 whole minutes of peace? The others don't know his neighbor is out, so they'll start out cautious. It won't matter much. It'll take Keigo less than a minute to realize via the feathers he leaves around that there are people in his apartment. 3 to 7 more will find him back home, depending on what's happening on his patrol right now. He'll need no more than 6 minutes to subdue the intruders, identify them, figure out collectively what's going on, and then finally come, very angry, to yell at him. Which means Touya has time for a glorious nap. Wait. Tenko narrows his eyes, naturally choosing the absolutely worst moment to tune back into the world around him. Your neighbor? Right. Tenko already knows about hawks. Well, he'll like being the only one in on the prank. Touya appeals to his nerdy superiority complex. Boss has an unfair advantage inherent in his character or whatever, so he'll be the judge and rank your spoils. He tilts his head. So I'll stay here with you. Unless you want to go try and rob my neighbor too, Touya shrugs. Please do. Please let me take a nap. Please want to play with these kids. Wait! Himiko pouts. Why does Shiggy have an advantage? He's already met my neighbor, Touya offers vaguely. He's been inside the place. I mean, it's not like he's a good thief. He needs the handicap. Ha! I see what you did there. I'm going too, Tenko growls. And I'm gonna win. Touya could weep in joy. Nap secured. Then out y'all go. Ganbate. Fuyumi knocks on Keigo's door, and it slides open by itself. She wants to invite him over for a late lunch. Well, a late lunch made by and shared with Touya while Fuyumi ditches the boys for her girlfriend. Keigo has important insights into the sort of gifts Rumi would like for the surprise Fuyumi is planning. And while Touya likely doesn't want to hear this conversation, both boys can be bribed with the presence of the other. That's Fuyumi's plan. But seeing former and current-ish members of the League of Villains inside Keigo's unit isn't exactly what she expected. All of them are yelling in a cacophonous wash of sounds Fuyumi only understands because of her experience working with children. Keigo visibly stews, taking in their excuses. Listening long enough to know that ex-villains are blaming Touya for this situation they found themselves in, bound by red feathers and cuffed with quirk suppressants, while an eclectic array of objects lay spread around before them, Fuyumi clears her throat. Hey, is this a bad time? Himiko perks up, straining in her bindings. Ooh, Yumi-ni-chan! Fuyumi-san, comes a laugh from the masked magician. How embarrassing to meet like this. After all your excuses and stalling, she laughs knowingly. Oh, but don't worry about it, Sako-san. I'm glad to finally meet. Hi, Yumi. Magni grins. What brings you here, love? I just need to speak with Hawks for a minute before I go see my girlfriend. I was hoping to catch him home, and luckily, I did. I wouldn't call it lucky. Keigo releases the others from their restraints, even as he grumbles. Unless you're talking about the devil's luck, 'cause it sure wasn't mine. It would be impolite to openly laugh at Keigo's plight. Fuyumi clears her throat. Yes, I heard. Not to victim blame, of course, but just for future reference. Yachan doesn't make a bet he won't win. Forget about that guy. You should have realized from your context clues you were doing something stupid. Keigo lectures. All the feathers didn't clue you in. Spinner clicks his tongue. All the feathers made me think was that you were a superfan, and that's why Touya hated you enough to let us rob you. I thought you were a civilian. Magne shrugs. Dobby told us not to break anything, and that we'd have to return it all too. Keigo doesn't seem especially placated. Shigaraki, you know I live here. Why didn't you tell the others? Fuyumi hums. Rather than picking on Touya for letting a wannabe recruit get the jump on him, Natsuo has been gushing about Tomura all week. She imagines all his excitement is reciprocated, and Himiko immediately confirms his suspicions. Oh, Hoxies, the teen consoles. Shiki just bragged that he got to go to Dobby's and meet Natsu. Sako chuckles. Sorry, lad, you weren't even a footnote. Tomura looks to the side, starting to scratch his neck before the three nearest sets of hands and a collection of feathers stop him. Sorry? Keigo doesn't dignify the apology of questionable sincerity with a response. Why am I wasting my time here with y'all when I have the actual bane of my existence next door? I will be back. Bane of his existence, he says. The rest of them snicker, Keigo long gone. He disappeared faster than Fuyumi thought he could move without flying. Unwilling to miss a thing, they all follow. Everyone crowds in the entryway of the neighboring unit, silent and anticipatory, as if attending a play with Keigo and Touya taking center stage. Tomura is tugged back before he can fully barge in, a little slower to read the mood. He rolls his eyes and walks back to Keigo's place, uninterested, with his phone in hand. The rest stay, just in time to see Touya stick his head irritably out of his cocoon of blankets, bundled up on the two-seater. Fuyumi watches in real time as Keigo's bias saps the annoyance out of him, and she doesn't think she's imagining his eyes pinning. She exchanges a look with Himiko, and the understanding spreads through their crowd, while Keigo and Touya remain oblivious. It contradicts how fluffy his feathers have grown in the microsecond it took to get from his unit to Toya's bedhead. But Keigo is snarling. It is not my fault that you let a gaggle of extroverted crazies imprint on you. It is not my fault. Your brother wants to become a vigilante doctor and has latched onto your boss. Don't drag me into these things! Squinting as he's accosted by the sudden brightness, Touya whines. Shh, pretty bird, I'm tired. Keigo stares, tilting his head. You look like crap, Staples. Yeah, screw you too, he says, trying to encase himself once more in his blankets. Taking pity on his attempt, Keigo tucks Touya back in. He promises, I'll order your usual. Oh? Fuyumi wonders when exactly cheapskate Touya began to order in often enough to have a usual. She wonders how Keigo got familiar enough to know it. I want raboki with extra teikboki and a serving of kimchi for breakfast tomorrow. Keigo rattles off, stuffing a couch pillow more securely under Toya's head. I know. Touya perks up again. And no fish cakes. And you want a pack of spicy instant ramen too, in case they skimp you on the noodles. I know, hot stuff. Go to sleep. I'll bring everyone back over when it gets here. Sako and Magne elbow each other, inaudibly cooing to the best of their ability. Himiko bounces on the balls of her feet. She's been hitting Spinner's arm this whole time, and the boy turns to Fuyumi with regret in his eyes. He probably wishes he had left with Tomura. Just bring the food, Touya huffs. Go make friends with each other elsewhere, pretty bird. The pair go back and forth for a moment more, Touya apparently awake enough now to slip into their usual banter. Fuyumi takes this as her chance to shuffle everyone back to Keigo's place, giving them a handful of seconds alone. Our boy is growing up, Magna cheers, wiping fake tears. They're adorable. Fuyumi grins, everyone sharing a laugh before the hero comes back to catch them. Himiko strikes a pose on the couch, raising her eyebrows as she waits. With the air of a parent scolding a teen who's missed curfew, she demands, "You got anything to say, number 2? "Yep," Keigo says as he walks in. "You want to eat Korean food? The printed menu is in that drawer over there, next to the one you stole my bottle opener from, Toga-chan. We'll do it online, so I'll need that laptop you marbled, Mr. Compress." Fuyumi studies the hero. He has to know they all saw most of his exchange with Touya, and that that's what Himiko is referring to. Unless he's that oblivious to his own surroundings and or the implications of his actions. It's anyone's guess at this point. No one moves. Keigo rolls his eyes. "Yes, it's on me. Order whatever you want."
"We'll let it slide for now, but we're watching you, hero."
If Keigo has any self-awareness at all, he should be embarrassed that it's Tomura who warns him. But perhaps he doesn't, because he's just doubtfully hums. "Sure." When everyone narrows their eyes, unsatisfied with his response, he tacks on a sigh. "What now?" "It's not time yet," Himiko decides. "So, nothing. But we love free food. Thanks, Hoxies." The others begin to clamor for the menu, ready to feast on the hero's dime. So Keigo leaves well enough alone and turns to Fuyumi. "You said you came over to talk, right?" "No rush," she smiles. Fuyumi knows Keigo uses his feathers to complete tasks autonomously all the time. But there must be a reason he's manually inputting his order now. Feel free to finish. Clicking away on his laptop, Keigo needs no further encouragement. Your brother's diet sucks. It's always carbs with him. So many starches and no meat. That's why he's so skinny. His meals have zero balance. And they're tiny. Shiny hypocrite should stop mocking my diet. Keigo mutters, his feathers searching his fridge as he orders online. Fuyumi is relatively certain that shiny isn't the adjective he means to verbalize. She says nothing. Unprompted, he continues. Dobby wants to eat the rice cakes mixed with noodles with fresh cheese on top. Oh good, I do have some. Because it's too spicy without the cheese to cut it. But he likes the flavor of the spicy dish over the mild version. You know how he can't handle spiciness but loves the seasoning. He's lucky he's not lactose intolerant. You know, he used to order the dishes separately and assemble it himself, but I managed to... it doesn't matter. And he actually wants kimchi fried rice, but he'll talk crap about the way they make their rice. So he's just gonna cook it in the morning. He'll complain about their kimchi too, because he's not happy if he's not complaining, but this is the compromise we came to. He's ridiculous. I don't know why I humor him. Well, Fuyumi has a guess. I'm rooting for you, Keigo. Thanks, he laughs. But I don't think I'll be able to fix his diet just yet. Best I can do is maybe trick him into eating a chicken skewer. Seems like he's tired enough to not notice right away. Keigo pays for his and Touya's food, using his feathers to deliver his laptop to the others who are still going over the menu. I'll bring our food over there while the others eat theirs here. Fuyumi thinks that a somewhat convoluted way to have a date. A bit reckless, too, to leave the League of Villains alone in his safe house while the hero goes off to dine with an active villain. But she's not one to judge, and she's always been a romantic. I think that's a lovely idea. I assume you're not eating with us, he smirks, since I can guess why you wanted to talk. Of course I will help you with whatever you're planning for rooms. Fuyumi grins. She's totally gonna win the bet with her younger brothers. Thanks, Keiko-kun. The level of obliviousness that Keigo and Touya are pulling off in this fic is precious, and I think it's actually really appropriate for them and their personalities. I do apologize for the audio quality on this particular fic. It was raining and I didn't realize how much it affected my audio until I went back to edit. And Sorry, but I'm just not re-recording this whole entire fic. It's not happening. The link to the original work is in the description if you want to drop by and leave a kudos, as well as a link to the Stories by the Fire Discord server if you want to come chatter. I do welcome constructive criticism in regards to my work. Before you head off, Spitfire has a message for you.
Like the video to support Wildfire. Subscribe to Stories by the Fire to find the rest of her videos. Hit the bell so you are notified when her next video comes up. Have a good day or night. Bye bye.